These are the 3 moments that killed your local grocery store, transforming an industry where neighbors knew your name into a battlefield dominated by corporate giants who see you as nothing more than a data point. Walk into any American grocery store today, and you're likely standing in a Walmart, Kroger, or Costco. Just 3 companies now control nearly 40% of all grocery sales in America. But this wasn't inevitable. It was engineered through deliberate policy decisions that fundamentally rewrote the rules of retail, turning what was once a local business into a winner-take-all competition. The first death blow came in 1980, when the Federal Trade Commission quietly stopped enforcing a law most Americans have never heard of, the Robinson-Patman Act. Passed in 1936 during the Great Depression, this law required suppliers to offer the same prices to all retailers, whether you were running a corner store or a massive chain. It was designed to prevent exactly what we see today, giant corporations using their size to squeeze out local competition through preferential pricing deals. For nearly 5 decades, this law kept the playing field relatively level. A&P, which had grown to over 15,000 stores by 1930, found itself constrained by regulations that prevented predatory pricing to eliminate competitors. Independent grocers could negotiate with suppliers on roughly equal terms, because Coca-Cola or General Mills couldn't offer A&P a sweetheart deal they denied to Joe's Market down the street. But in the early 1980s, under the influence of Chicago school economics that prioritized efficiency over competition, federal regulators simply stopped enforcing Robinson-Patman. The floodgates opened. Suddenly, companies like Walmart could negotiate volume discounts that independent grocers could never match. When Walmart tells Procter & Gamble they'll buy 50 million units of detergent, they get a price that makes it impossible for a local store buying 50 cases to compete. The numbers tell the story. In 1982, independent retailers held 53% of the grocery market. Today, they control just 22%. That's not market evolution, that's market manipulation through policy abandonment. The second killing blow was the self-service revolution, but not in the way you might think. When Clarence Saunders opened the first Piggly Wiggly in Memphis in 1916, he was not just changing how people shopped, he was fundamentally altering the relationship between customer and grocer. Before Piggly Wiggly, shopping meant walking into Johnson General Store and telling Mr. Johnson what you needed. He knew your family, your preferences, your budget. He might extend credit during tough times or recommend something special for Sunday dinner. Saunders eliminated all of that human connection. Customers now wandered aisles, picking products from shelves, interacting with cashiers who knew nothing about their lives. This innovation spread rapidly because it was incredibly efficiency. By 1932, Piggly Wiggly operated 2,660 stores. But efficiency came at a cost. We're still paying today, the death of the personal relationship that had been the foundation of local retail. The self-service model favored chains over independence because it required standardization. Every Piggly Wiggly looked the same, operated the same way, sold the same products. This uniformity made chain operations scalable in ways that traditional grocery stores, with their emphasis on personal service and local adaptation, simply could not match. When Michael Cullen opened King Cullen in 1930, widely considered America's first true supermarket, he took Saunders' concept even further. King Cullen was massive by the standards of the day, offering thousands of products under one roof at discount prices. The personal service model could not survive this evolution. You cannot provide individualized attention to customers in a 50,000 square foot warehouse selling 30,000 different products. The third and final blow came through what economists call consolidation through acquisition, a fancy term for big fish eating smaller fish until only sharks remain. This process accelerated dramatically in the 1990s and the 2000s, as relaxed antitrust enforcement allowed merger after merger to proceed unchallenged. Consider the grocery landscape of 1990 versus today. The top 4 grocery companies controlled about 15% of the market then. Today, they control over 30%. The top 20 retailers have gone from 39% market share in 1992 to nearly 67% in 2016. This isn't gradual market evolution, it's systematic consolidation. Kroger exemplifies this strategy. Through acquisitions, they now own Harris Teeter, Fred Meyer, Ralph's, King Soopers, and dozens of other chains that were once independent competitors. When you shop at any of these stores, you're shopping at Kroger, you just might not realize it. This creates an illusion of choice while actually eliminating competition. Albertsons followed the same playbook, absorbing Safeway, Vons, Jewel Osco, and Shaw's. The December 2024 attempt to merge Kroger and Albertsons would have created a grocery behemoth controlling over 5,000 stores and serving 85 million customers. Federal courts blocked this merger, but only after decades of smaller acquisitions had already reshaped the industry. The human cost of this transformation shows up most clearly in rural America, where 76 counties now have no grocery store at all. When the last independent grocer in Haven, Kansas closed 3 years after Dollar General arrived, the owner said sales just kept dropping, down $1,000 a day. The owner of a grocery store in Mobile, Iowa, saw business drop 15 to 20% immediately when Dollar General moved in. Dollar stores represent the final insult in this story. Dollar General and Dollar Tree now operate nearly 35,000 locations across America, more than Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, and Target combined. 3/4 of Americans live within 5 miles of a Dollar General. These stores deliberately target rural communities and low-income urban neighborhoods, offering a limited selection of processed foods at prices that undercut traditional grocery stores. But here's what Dollar General doesn't tell you: they're not really grocery stores. They sell very little fresh produce, meat, or dairy. Their business model is to skim the most profitable customers from traditional grocers, people buying sodas, snacks, and packaged goods, while leaving the expensive, low-margin business of selling fresh food to someone else. When traditional grocery stores lose these profitable customers, they often can't afford to stay open, creating food deserts where families have no access to fresh, healthy food. The USDA found that rural grocery stores are 3 times more likely to close after a dollar store moves in compared to urban areas. This isn't competition, it's a deliberate strategy to extract profit while leaving communities worse off. Today, when you walk through your local grocery store, you're witnessing the end result of these 3 transformations. The cashier scanning your items doesn't know your name because personal service was sacrificed for efficiency decades ago. The store is probably owned by one of a handful of corporate giants because policymakers abandoned the laws that once protected independent retailers. And if you live in a rural area or low-income neighborhood, you might not have any real grocery options left at all. This transformation wasn't inevitable, it was choice. Every policy decision that weakened antitrust enforcement, every merger approval that concentrated market power, every regulatory change that favored efficiency over community, these were deliberate choices that prioritized profits over local resilience. The grocery store used to be the heart of American communities, a place where neighbors gathered, local businesses thrived, and economic power remained distributed across thousands of independent owners. Today, it's become a monument to corporate consolidation, where every purchase feeds algorithms designed to extract maximum value while providing minimum service. Understanding this history matters because the future of food retail is still being written. The choices we make today about antitrust enforcement, merger approvals, and support for local businesses will determine whether the next generation has access to diverse, community-oriented food systems, or whether they'll inherit an even more concentrated, impersonal marketplace where grocery shopping means choosing between Walmart and whatever scraps remain. The day grocery stores stopped being local wasn't a single day at all. It was a decades-long process of policy choices that dismantled the foundations of local retail, one regulation and one merger at a time.